Hey everybody, this is Tina with Loving Life's Little Blessings. Thank you so much for coming by today and hanging out with me. We're going to make a card today, but really quickly I just want to say I'm sorry for the background noise. I have fire trucks going up and down my road right now. The base camp for the fire that we're having up here is directly across the street from me, so there's a lot more traffic than normal. And then so I wanted to make a card for you guys today. I have some cards that I need to get out for thank you cards for customers, and then Wendy had asked me to make some cards for her that she needed, and so I wanted to do something simple that I could make quite a few of that would be easy. So I'm using this stamp set right here, and then I'm using this sentiment stamp, and then we're going to use the coordinating punch that goes with this stamp set. Okay, so these two items you can get in a bundle. You can pick that up at my online store if you've not picked these items up. It's a great set to have, and you can get that in a bundle. So then I'm just using this because I needed a thank you sentiment to go along with it. So I wanted to share with you guys that I recently have purchased some of our thicker white cardstock, and I really love it. It's 100-pound cardstock, and it makes a real difference when you're making cards. And I didn't know that I would really like it. I hadn't got it right away when we first started carrying it, but now I really do like it for card bases. And what you want to make sure you do is score it. I just use the score tab on my trimmer. This is the Stampin' Up! Trimmer. It's the best trimmer I've ever owned, and it has this right here, which is a scoring, not blade, but a scoring piece. So I just do that right on my trimmer, and then that makes it really easy, and then that way you can fold it over and it doesn't get that really bad creased look, and it doesn't break the cardstock. It just gives you a nice card. Okay, so the next thing that I'm going to use, I'm using a couple different of our designer papers. Well, one designer paper and then a specialty paper. So this is Into the Woods, and I love this paper so much. It's great for fall. I've already got, see, I don't even have that many pieces left of it because I've used so much of it. But this piece, here's some of the other designs. Oops, that's a Project Life card. So any of these would work, and I just keep that in a clear bag. So I'm using that for some designer pieces. Then I'm using some of our champagne glitter paper. So I have a 1-inch strip by 5.5. So 1 inch by 5.5, that's going to go on the edge there. And then I just have a half inch of this champagne. The other paper we're going to be using is some of this paper. And this has some really fun texture to it, you can see. I'll stick the name of this paper up on the screen. It's not this. This was a different specialty paper. I just reused my bags. So this is going to be super simple. The first thing that I'm going to do is go ahead and attach my designer paper. I made about 30 of these cards, and so again, I wanted them to be really simple. And then we're going to attach our glimmer paper the same way. I'm just using snail. Tip, if your snail is not, when you're using it, it's not attaching to your paper, you need to just lift it up a little bit more. Sometimes when it's at an angle, it doesn't snag, the adhesive doesn't snag that paper, and then it doesn't come off. So if you just lift it up a little bit higher and make sure that the part that rolls, this little white part rolls on your paper, if you just make sure that that is all the way down on the paper, it will be a little bit better, and it'll snag that paper, and you won't have that issue. So I'm just attaching the glimmer paper. I'm putting it a little bit over my designer paper, but just a tiny, tiny bit. Okay, so you can see it's like this. I'll probably have to trim that glimmer paper a little bit, but so far, very simple, right? So then I've taken the punch, and I've punched out the acorn in this really cool paper that has this really great texture, okay? And then I've used the stamp to stamp the top of the acorn, and I used this design right here, and I used this color ink. Tangelo twist. So this part is really easy. We're just going to, again, use some snail. And we can attach that right to the top of the acorn. I'm going to put dimension on the back of the acorn. That's why I didn't put dimension on this top piece. So we have that. So the next thing I want to do is go ahead and stamp thank you. I'm using Blackberry Bliss, and every time I use Blackberry Bliss, I get it everywhere. It's like this ink just needs to be everywhere. I get it on all over my arms, all over my hands, all over my workspace. Okay, so I've just stamped thank you, and I did a pretty good job of making that straight. So we're almost done with this card. The last thing I'm going to do is take some of this gold thread, which I know is a little bit harder to see on camera, and I'm sorry, I know I had some comments about it's a little bit hard to see. I totally get that. So I'm super sorry, guys. But I'm just taking this thread, and I took quite a bit of it, and now I'm wrapping it around my fingers. And you guys, I just go through this thread like crazy. So once I wrap it a bunch of times around my fingers, I just twist it and then I grab all of that in the middle. And I don't care if it looks messy. It's totally okay. I'm going to take my fingers, feather it out. I'm going to grab my glue dots. This is the best way to keep all this thread together because it's super tiny. I'm just going to push the middle of that onto a glue dot that actually just grabbed onto my nail, which is perfect. And then I'm going to put it on the back of that acorn. So hopefully you saw that. I was kind of going a little bit fast. I was trying to make sure everything stayed attached. So now what I'm going to do is put some dimensionals onto the back of this acorn just to make sure that is attached down. It's not going to, that thread isn't going to move any. Okay, so now that I'm sure that everything's stable there, I'm going to grab, there's some loose threads that didn't quite make it into the glue dot. I'm just going to trim those. And then with your finger, you can just kind of fan out that thread. This thread is amazing and beautiful to work with. I absolutely love it. I wish that we had it in black. I think it would be really pretty in black. And I think black would probably be the only other color I would really want it in. The gold and silver are really perfect for it. So now I'm just going to attach that acorn right to the front, and that's going to be my card. Super simple, right? Perfect for thank you cards. You could use any of the sentiments on here. Thinking of you, happy birthday would work, or even feeling better. It's a perfect fall card. So thank you guys so much for coming by, and I will chat with you guys later. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today, and I have a couple other videos here for you guys. I have a card that I made with last month's paper pumpkin kit. I used that stamp set that was included to make that really cute fall card. And then I have a Project Life video for you guys. I just show you how I document my kids' school projects and what I get rid of and what I keep. And I'd love for you guys to check that out. So thank you guys so much for coming by and hanging out with me today. I hope you're having a wonderful day, and I'll be back later this week for you guys. Thanks so much. Have a great day.